and welcome to another episode of Round Robin. I'm Robin McCormick, the Communications and Marketing Director for the City of Hampton. Today I have with me Brianna Venner, and I'm going to give you her acronym for her title because she's the FOG Coordinator for the city. And I don't want to tell you what FOG means right away because I don't want to scare anybody off, but this is going to be a little bit different. So Brianna, welcome to Round Robin.
Thanks for having me.
You are an educator
Yes.
for the city, but you're not just educating school children, you're educating the entire populace.
Right.
All right, do you want to tell us what FOG stands for?
FOG stands for fats, oils, and grease.
Yuck.
Yeah, yeah. And really what the FOG program that the city has developed does is the goal is to educate citizens on what pouring fats, oils, and grease down the drain can actually do to your pipes, due to the city's sewer system. And what it does is when grease cools, just like in a frying pan, when it starts to solidify, it will actually stick to the sides of the pipe and create a blockage. Once that blockage gets to a point where the water can't flow anymore, that water is going to come back at you. It's either going to come up potentially in your sink, your toilet, your bathtub, and what we're really concerned about is that it can actually push up a manhole. And when that wastewater is flowing in the street, that means it can make its way to the storm drain. And all of our storm water goes straight out to our waterways, to the bay, to our rivers. So we really want to make sure that we're getting the message out to can your grease rather than putting it down the drain.
This has to be a difficult topic. I mean, you've brought some props with you. Do you want to show the sewer pipe?
Sure. Just as I said, this is kind of an average sewer pipe that you'll find in Hampton. The city has about 400 miles of sewer pipe. And then, just as I said, when the water starts to cool, the grease starts to cool, it will start to stick to the sides of the pipe and create the blockage.
Yuck.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a serious problem for taxpayers because if sewer pipes get blocked, city has to come in and replace them or clean them out or whatever, which means
Right.
all of us are paying for that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really even know that there is a wastewater department, and one of their big jobs is knowing where pipes are going to be clogged and preventing that. So we have people that actually they put a TV camera down in the pipe and they're surveying. And so when they find a pipe that's got a lot of grease in it, another crew will come in and they will actually clean all that grease out. So this is really an initiative where citizens can work with the city to really help us out to be more efficient, more cost effective. And it's as simple as, we like to say, just can it. Take an old soup can, pour that bacon grease, hamburger grease in the soup can. We have tons of these little lids that we're happy to give anybody who's interested. Put the lid on there, put it in your freezer, and when it hardens, just throw it out in the trash and start all over again. And it's really important, not only does it help our city pipes, but plumbing is, having a plumber come is expensive. So it's a really great way for citizens to kind of help themselves first before it even gets to the city side of the line.
Right, because if there's a blockage between my sink and the main sewer pipe, that's my responsibility.
Right.
And even if it's in the main sewer pipe, it's going to come back to homeowners because property tax is the largest, revenue source for the city. So it is costly. But it's gross. It's, who wants to think about that?
Right.
Now, you mentioned hamburger grease and bacon grease, and I think everybody knows those solidify at room temperature and maybe are more careful about those. Mm-hmm. Suppose I am doing a stir fry or I'm frying fish and I have a little bit of corn oil left in the fryer.
Anytime, especially with fryer oil, because there's so much quantity, like let's say you're deep frying chicken or something or fish, that oil you want to actually, we recommend pouring it back into the container that it came from. And the best thing to do is take it to the next household chemical waste recycling. You can actually take your fryer oil there and then that will be recycled. Now, other oils going down your drain, the best thing is really just as much as possible, just water down your drain. All of those other things are all mixing. Even food, we recommend trying to limit the use of your garbage disposal, because if you think about it, your garbage disposal just breaks up food. It doesn't actually dispose of anything. And when those food particles are now you have more of them, when that starts to cool, the grease will kind of grab it as it's going by and sort of create a concrete inside your pipe.
Oh, wow. So really, garbage disposals are better than putting food down the drain directly, but not a real solution as far as your pipes as a homeowner or
right.
The city.
I try to tell people the garbage disposal doesn't want to eat your leftovers. Don't shove everything in there. If something falls out of your hands, that's one thing, but you really want to choose the trash over your garbage disposal.
And I'm going to put a plug in here. Garbage disposals also break a lot. That's why I got rid of mine. And they take up a lot of room under your sink. And I have started, and I'm sure many people out there have, using a compost bin instead and having compost so that food waste, for the most part, gets recycled and put into my garden so my tomatoes are healthier.
Yeah, so you're ahead of the game. Yeah, we also recommend getting a sink strainer, and you can just put that in your garbage disposal side of the sink, and then as you're draining your dishwater, put that in there. It'll catch the scraps that are on your plates, mm-hmm. And throw those scraps in the trash. And really another good thing to do is to take some paper towel if you have some grease residue
right.
on your plate, wipe it off with the paper towel, and then toss that paper towel in the trash. And, when I started this job, I thought, how much, there's two of us in my house, mm-hmm. I thought, how much grease can really be on our plates at the end of our meal? But things that you're not thinking about are salad dressing, icing, sauces like spaghetti sauce. Any food that has a fat in it has that potential to stick to your pipes.
So that's really a big change of behavior that you're asking of people, because it's not just the quantities left in the frying pan. It is wipe out the pan after you pour it out. It is wipe off those plates before you put them in the dishwasher or the sink.
I think it's a big thought change, but it's not a big action change. Your paper towels are right there usually. Just grab one, wipe it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but every little bit is going to help your plumbing.
Now, you've been taking this message out to residents, but mm-hmm. you've also been taking it to school kids.
I have.
How do they respond?
They love it. I'm doing after-school programs, and I have a little story kind of that I've created with 3 little grease characters we call the grease grubbies, and the kids love to boo the grease grubbies for trying to stick to the sides of the pipe. So they've been really responsive, and what we do is after we talk about the pipes and how they work and how the grease affects the pipes, everybody gets a can, and then give them some construction paper and crayons and stuff. And a lot of times I feel like I'm really getting the message across because the kids will draw things that I've talked about. Mm-hmm. One little girl, she was so cute. She had put all this glitter on her on her can, and she said, "That's my overflow." So she knew what a sewer overflow was. So
that's great. Now, how do residents get one of these can lids? Because it does help keep things a little neater if you're leaving them on the counter for a while.
Yeah, you'll see that the can lid has a website on it, askhrgreen.org, and that's a regional website that the city is a part of. So they can go to that website and email us, and we're happy to come out and give them out. Also to individual homeowners or apartment managers, neighborhood associations. I'm happy to come out and do presentations. We have lots of fun literature that kind of explains all of this. So
how would someone get in touch with you, Brianna, if a neighborhood association wanted you to come speak?
They could call 311,
okay.
And 311 will just refer them to our office.
That's great. That's great. Well, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I think we covered it.
Okay, thank you, Brianna, for coming by.
Thanks.
And thank you for watching this episode of Round Robin. I hope you will go back and dedicate yourselves to cleaning out a little bit more of that grease before it goes down the drain. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.